Some people say you gotta fake it until you make it. But I say that's only gonna break it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been out enjoying a meal at a fancy restaurant? Everything looking spotless in the front, food smelling good, service warm, the entire atmosphere so inviting. And then you ask to use the restroom. And the moment you start walking towards the back, it is like stepping into the twilight zone, behind a curtain that exposes the truth. Suddenly, the hallway is grimy. The walls are stained. And when you open that bathroom door, oh my gosh, what you see is enough to make your stomach lurch. Filth everywhere. Odors that have no business being in a place that serves food. Trash overflowing. Sinks filthy. Food. Floors sticky. And all you can think is, if this is what the bathroom looks like, what else is making its way into my food? Trust me, whenever I see something like that, I'm gone. I never go back there. Because what is in the back always makes its way out to the front. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Leavona. Welcome to the Leavona Show. I have been creating and building successful businesses for over 25 years, and I am here to help you win. If you would like to learn from me, hit that subscribe button now so you can find me later when you need me. Presentation is key, folks. Not only where the customers can see it, but especially where they cannot. Once you understand that, you begin to realize why so many businesses collapse long before they reach their potential. It is because they pretend in the front while failing in the back. They maintain a smile out there while chaos reigns behind the curtain. We as entrepreneurs cannot afford to mirror that kind of negligence. You cannot build anything excellent on a foundation of disorder. Whatever you tolerate in the back will eventually contaminate everything you present in the front. And if the unseen spaces are falling apart, it is only a matter of time before the visible ones follow. And the same truth applies to your life. The front of your life is what the world observes, but the back of your life is what you will live with every single second of the day. Your habits, your discipline, your integrity, your character. Those hidden realities shape your reputation far more deeply than anything you display on the surface. And believe you me, whatever disorder you permit in the back will eventually reveal itself as large as life at the front. Truth always finds its way into the light, whether you are prepared for that moment or not. That is why you must guard the private places with the same intention and intensity you give to the public ones. Because if your foundation is stable, your confidence grows, your spirit stands firm, and your whole presence carries an authority that cannot be faked or shaken. Here is the beautiful part. You do not need to fix your entire world in a single day. Simply begin by doing this. Match your back end to your front end. Start by restoring order where no applause exists. Make the back clean. Make it calm. Make it dignified. Set an atmosphere that mirrors excellence. Soft music, decent language, respect all around. No chaos, no cursing, no energy that undermines who you are becoming. Because when the back is right, something inside of you settles. There is a quiet assurance that rises when you know the hidden places of your business and your life reflect honor. And as that inner alignment strengthens, your outward presentation transforms. Not by force, not by pressure, not by performance, but because excellence behind the curtain produces excellence everywhere else. That is how reputations are built. That is how businesses rise. That is how legacies are established. Order at the core, integrity at the root, honor in the places no one sees. Remember, all you got to do is make sure your back end is right, and you'll never have anything to worry about. If this message has been helpful, and if it has encouraged you, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It will help spread this message to other aspiring entrepreneurs. Now, at this time, we will move into the freestyle portion of the video that I do every day. It is called the Why Factor. I believe it is important for us to remind ourselves why we do business. Let us be honest here. Things can get really hard at times for us entrepreneurs. There are times when we can question everything and really doubt ourselves and our mission. That is why we need to recall why. Why did we go into business in the first place? This is how we stay grounded and keep moving. Listen, life is precious, so we have to cherish it. So let's take some time now to reflect on these things. Hello, family. Hello, friends. How are you doing? How is your day? Some of you are going crazy, aren't you? Some of you are procrastinators. You're last-minute peoples. So you ain't ready yet for this Thanksgiving and you hosting tomorrow. Look around the place and it's, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all this stuff done? What am I going to do? Oh, oh my gosh. Why? Why do we allow ourselves to be the last-minute persons? All right, my dears. So Thanksgiving is upon us, but we have to do what we have to do here. So we always reflect. And so we're going to go back and do a little reflection, and then we're going to talk about life, and we're going to talk about the craziness of your kitchen and all the mess that's going on and how you're not ready yet. But don't worry, you got time. Okay, so why did we go into business? We know we went into business because we like freedom, right? We like freedom, right? Check. Right? We have something that God has given us in our hands, and we want to bring it into reality, use our skills, and make something out of nothing, present it to the world with excellence and have them love it, and we feel like we have accomplished. We didn't come here for nothing. We came with gifts and we utilized, and we're serving now, and we're making the world a better place. Check. Right? And then the third thing, I think I'm going to give you 4 tonight, or we'll see. The third thing that we have to put a lot of emphasis on is people. Without people, we don't have a business. If people don't buy our ads when we do marketing out there, and we put the flyers out and we go on, space, wherever we go, nothing happens. Everything falls apart. We have to advertise. So when they come, we have to serve them. And one thing I just felt to tell you is that you have to remember how you waited for them, how you trusted for them to come. And when they come, you can't abuse them. You have to remember that there was a day that you wanted freedom, so you walked away from corporate, and then you took the stuff that you had in your hand and you built something, but then you needed something else. You needed the main ingredient is people. And when you go out and you advertise and you bring them in, you have to remember where you were, where you hope to be, and where you're standing now. And you cannot forget that without those people accepting your ads and coming to you in trust, in droves, for help, you would not be able to do your business. So you always have to use people as your main thing, and you always have to realize that they are not inanimate objects. They are human beings that have pulsing hearts, have emotions, work hard, save their money, and they trust you that you will take them where they want to go. So let us not get cocky because our business is working and we're doing good, and you hear that there's a complaint somewhere, and you say, oh, she always complains. I'm tired of her. Not today. You pass her on to one of your employees. Your employees don't know. They don't know when you are in that secret room praying and asking God to have mercy on you and let this thing take. Let it take, Lord. Help me. I can't deal with these corporate people anymore. I got to get out of here. You were desperate and you needed to break free. You were like a beautiful flower and you just could not stay in that place. And in desperation, you cried out. He released the gift to you, and then you had to do the part with the marketing and wait for them to come, but now they come. You can't follow what is happening around you. We have to be a select people, a different breed, a different kind, who take care of those beating hearts. Some people get robbed and they can never catch themselves because it might be their whole savings that they took and they put on the line for you to coach them, for you to teach them, for you to, keep your promise to them. At the end of the year, they give you so many thousands of dollars because most of these jobs that we do are done on a weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly, right? So you have to remember them. Remember and be gracious and be grateful every single day and thankful. So the last one we're going to do is being thankful. So they're in and you're serving them and you have to be thankful. It fits in so well with where we are today in the USA as we get ready to go into Thanksgiving there tomorrow. You have to be thankful for them. You have to say it every day. For the ones who come and give you headaches, I have given you many videos. Some of them we cannot cure, we cannot fix, and you might have to weed them out. If you do what I'm teaching you, you'll be able to weed out. Some of you have already gone ahead of me and your business is running, but you're having issues with some of them. No one is perfect. And the world has more imperfection than the people who are coming close to that. No one is perfect. But some people really try. And some people don't try at all. So some of them, if you follow the instructions that I'm giving you, you'll be able to prevent yourself having to wean out. But some of you have already built and you're rolling and you're going for years, but you got all these people down at the bottom. It's like I see the influencers. They have millions of customers, but then they put out an ad saying that they're going to build a program or they're going to sell a program, and they get crickets because their business is built on numbers only. There's no participation. Nobody's really interacting. And they send out an ad saying they're going to do something. Crickets. Nobody wants to be bothered because they never vested those people. So they are in name only. They get the money from YouTube for having a big following, but they don't have people who want to be bothered with what they have to sell. So you have to reinvent your system and see how best you can do what you can do. I have seen from being on coaching channels and watching people going into programs, and they say, well, I have this audience but I've never tried to sell them anything. And I drop the stuff and it's crickets. Or I always sell them things for $30 and $40. I don't know how to move to premium. They're not going to, right? So you have to make a shift. But no matter what you do, whether you're going to wean them out or whether you're going to, do premium only, you still have to love on them. Even as you're sending them away, even as you invent a program, even as you invent a program to wean them out. When I started years ago, I was robbed. I cleaned and the people didn't give me the money that I was supposed to get. And I didn't hate on them. Instead, I went outside. I was so hurt. Two of them did it to me. And it's in one of my videos out there somewhere. Go binge, you'll find it. But I was so hurt that instead of hating them, I went outside, I looked up to the heavens and I said, God, I don't know why you allowed that to happen to me. I did so many hours of work and I was robbed. And when you start, sometimes you start alone and then you build. It's like the plant behind me. It's slowly growing. I started my cleaning service that is now running for 25 plus years. And I did it starting alone. One person. And then before you know it, I built and I built and I built. So you have to always still find a way to treat them right. I disconnected myself from them. I was raised with dignity. I packed up my equipment and I left. The second time I got hit, that was it. I came back to the drawing board and I said, I have to devise a system that prevents this from happening to me. And it never did anymore. Because I went premium, I stuck to premium, and I devised a system that prevented them from ever doing that. All right, so those are the 4 things I give you today. Freedom. Using the stuff in your hand. Serving people and loving on them. Love them with the love of God. When you can love them for their personality types and their different quirks, love them with the love of God. That's what He allows us. And then be thankful to Him. Never get arrogant in your business. When you start swinging into millions and, 6 figures and then you go to millions and all this stuff, don't forget. Don't forget your humble beginnings at the bottom. Please, I beg of you, don't. Because if God moves you from nothing to $1 million or millions of dollars, if you do the right things, He can move you to millions and millions. And the sky is the limit, right? So let's go for it. All right, let's go into life. So life is something that we cherish because we're human beings who love, we have the capacity to love. And sometimes we get hurt and people hurt us. But we have to be able to forget about ourselves and for the sake of family and communing and having fellowship. America has given us this blessed day where we get together and I came from Guyana in South America and we didn't have anything like this. We had like Easter Day and Boxing Day and Christmas Day and stuff, but we didn't have Thanksgiving. But I guess all nations are fashioned a certain way because they know that we have to get rest. We can't work like donkeys, like journey jacks. We have to get rest or the machine breaks. Even computers break, right? So I'm asking you to enjoy yourself tomorrow. And some of you are not going to be able to go anywhere. Some of you are elderly and you have no support. Life has brought you down a road where you're lonely and you have to wait on Meals on Wheels or one of these places that bring you food. Do not be sad. Thank God that you have food. Somebody is coming and serving you. Thank Him for the delivery people who will bring you a meal tomorrow, even though it's a holiday and they have to work on that day. They come in and they might do their stuff early. And some people, some jobs we don't get off, you know? They don't give us off. But thank God for the person who can bring you a nice warm meal tomorrow. And for those of us who will meet with family, every family has something. There's always some strife, some situation. Every family has a little bit of dysfunctionality going on. In one of my videos, I told you guys that over the years, I would have to pray myself in to go into certain functions. It was either I stayed away or I went, but I had to pray and ask God, please help me to get through. It is gonna be hours. And I know XYZ is coming. Can you believe it? But that's how it is. And I would pray and I would go in and I would have a wonderful time. So I wish you guys all the best. Sometimes we move so fast that we're thinking about Friday and we're not thinking that today's Wednesday. It's Wednesday night. We project so far out that we don't smell the roses anymore. Can you stay here with me? Can you slow down a little and just stay here for 2 seconds more? Listen to what I have to say. Slow down, not for me, but for your life. When I went to med school, I'll give you a little snippet, and then we're going to wrap up. I was told that I had to work hard, so I worked hard my whole life. And my father was not there. I was raised by my grandmother, and she only knew how to create businesses. I don't think Grandma ever went no further than the regular lower level classes. She could read her Bible, she could look at the songbook and read, but I never really thought to ask her how far she went. But there was never anything talked about by Grandma about academics. She would make sure we went to school, but she never talked about it. It wasn't a driving thing for her that she passed down to us. But we just looked. For those of us who were blessed by God and called for a certain purpose, I started to notice that business is run in this family. My uncles go out. I had an uncle in the front. There were 3 houses in this very long property, and the one in front was a taxi driver. The uncle in the middle worked with the government, and my grandmother, she did all this little farming thing. She planted in the back. She raised chickens. She had some sheep. She had some goats. And she had cows. But she never stressed the importance of education. But somewhere along the line, when I ended up with my father and all the people around you, all they ever said was, You got to work harder than everybody else. Because if you don't work harder, you guys are basically in a pool. It's a competition pool. And if you are not noticed, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get a good job. You're not gonna, right? I think some of it probably came from the teachers too. They shape our lives when we're little. That's why sometimes you have to be careful with what the teacher or teachers are teaching our kids. And so I got to med school. And I was so driven to finish and to succeed and to make it. I would be the first doctor in my family. I would have broken the mold. And I felt like the whole world was on my shoulders because I felt, and so was my husband. He was the first one going in. And you always have to have a pioneer, you know, because if I go in and I break what it is, then other doctors could come behind me. And at the time, being a doctor was very highfalutin. It was up there. Everybody respected a doctor. And that is what they pushed me to. You're smart. Go for that. It's the highest pinnacle you can climb. Nobody never said nothing but business. We weren't taught it in school. It wasn't taught by the teachers. It wasn't said in circles. Just go for academics. And I remember I worked my whole life so hard to get there. And then I ended up in med school. And boy, was the competition fierce. And on top of that, I got into what is the program, Daddy? The one that moved faster, what they call that word? It was like accelerated. Can you believe me? I must have been some crazy nut job to go into med school, into an accelerated program. Well, what do you think they were doing there? They were weeding out the weak ones. If you were not strong, you would not last. But they got your money up front, didn't they? You see, everything is a business. But they don't teach you to go for business. They teach you just work and go work for Uncle Sam. When you finish, get enrolled in a program and see your way. And I worked and bust my behind, and I did not look at my life. My mind on a Wednesday was projecting to Monday because I had so much stuff to do. And I realized that was not a good way to live. To me, like, it was one of the hardest things my husband and I have ever done in our lives. And it fashioned us for where we are today. But that's a story for another day. Please do not jump ahead. Today's Wednesday. You have Thanksgiving tomorrow. Please slow down. Please slow down and take on the work the whole place looks like an utter mess. Take on the work one project at a time. And don't forget, I spoke to you about keeping some music on, and we always have to pray and say, Dear Lord, help me to get through this mountain. Help me to get through all this baking. Help me to get through. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I just love the food baked the night before. You want to see crazy? I was brought up in a culture where we never did anything until Christmas Eve day is when we started to break down. I mean, the blinds and everything were taken down. We washed the walls if we didn't have new paint. Other than that, the whole place was painted over. The rooms were redecorated. It was turned around. The word is not coming. But we just did everything on Christmas Eve day. Baking, bread, black cake, sponge cake, this cake, all your grandmother cake, your uncle cake, all these different things. Every single thing was done on Christmas Eve day, all the way up into Christmas Eve night. And that is because that was my culture. That is what I came to America with. And it worked. It worked for a few years. But then the system is different here, and you have to be at work. Or sometimes you put in for time, and because you're not high up on the totem pole, you're told that you're number 5, and you can't get that spot. The spot goes to the guy who's at the top, the guy who was here the longest. And so now you got to work. Boy, did I learn quick. And that's why my feet started to give out, because I didn't have the whole day. I had to go in, and every night I would come home and do a little bit, you know? You gotta bend. You gotta bend with what life offers you. When it gives you lemon, you have to make lemonade. So I just want to tell you that your world might look crazy now, and there are pots and pans everywhere and dishes and all this stuff, and you're doing it by yourself. You have to know sometimes when you have to give up some of the dishes. Nobody might be able to cook like you, but if your children are not coming and they're not in that room, they say, oh, I love mommy's mashed potatoes, or I love her stuffing, but they don't know. You're not saying anything. You're not telling them that you're slowing down now. You have to start telling them. Tell them to come in a day or two. Take off some time. Budget their time so that they can come in and help you in the kitchen. You have to start telling them, you guys have to learn how to do this, because one day I'm not going to be able to do it. And the family recipes will be lost. Right? So I wish you guys all the best. As you know, tomorrow we're not going to have any program. Knowing me, I would do a program, but my husband ain't having that. I plan on putting out something if he will work with me. I'll put out another video that we're going to drop sometime tomorrow before we take off to go to family. And that's if he approves it, but that's my heart. And I just want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, man. For those of us, we might not go anywhere. There have been some years that I didn't go anywhere. I was so tired. I didn't even want to be bothered. I just wanted to sleep, because that was the day that I got to sleep. Isn't that something? But now I got freedom. I sleep so much, I don't know what to do with myself. I make sure I sleep. I keep my heart strong. But anyway, just enjoy yourselves. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your family. Enjoy the food. Make sure you don't forget to take some containers so you can bring something home. All right? It's always good to have the ability, because you eat and then you feel like you're full so quickly, so many dishes and stuff, and then you say, man, I should have brought some food home. So just remember to take your little containers. Guys, listen, I want to tell you, I am very fond of you, and I love you with the love of Jesus Christ and God. And I look forward every day to coming here. And some days I am doing yap, yap, and I wouldn't let you go. But thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Happy Thanksgiving. May God bless you. And bless you and your family. Have a wonderful day. And we meet back here again on Friday at 8 p.m. Be there. Be there. Or be square. Love you. Have a good night.